welcome back to EVE Online with me, Mark from DadX, and today I'm out in my Corax. I'm exploring low-sec with a new thing up here, the bounty risk modifier, 135% in this system right here at 0.3 with all these asteroid belts for me to visit. The bounties are being paid out on the rats at 135% rate. Isn't that great? So one of the rats I've just killed here has got one of the famous pinkies, the Enduring Warp Disruption Field Generator, 3 million that can just spawn, or should I say drop, in any old frigate etc. out in low-sec. It's one of the little treats that you get out here. So what exactly is going on? I'm going to head on to the next belt. I've got this system to myself for the moment. I don't expect that to be the case for very long. There's loads of people next door, that's for sure. Okay, I've done the sensible thing and I've docked up. Here's the EVE Online article, but this actually refers to the rollout of dynamic bounties out in nullsec. But it's exactly the same system with some exceptions because of sovereignty, etc. here in low-sec. But the main things that we need to know are, if there's lots of ratting going on, the multiplier is going to go down. Makes sense, doesn't it? If there's lots of combat, lots of player combat and death, the multiplier goes up. If the system's just left to itself, it stabilizes at an equilibrium value. So does that mean it kind of just sits somewhere? And would that be 1? I don't know. So it's new to me. I've had a look around. I can't see what the parameters are in terms of maximum and sort of minimum multiplier either way. How low could it go? How high could it go? And as yet, I've yet to know whether just leaving a system empty is going to just leave it down, sort of get it to 1, or will it just sit where it is from that day? If you know those things, do let me know in a comment. I'm always keen to learn. And it's as simple as that, really. But it really does mean that for a low-sec lurker like myself, who leads a little bit of a nomadic life these days. In fact, the reason I'm out here was because I'm going to have to get local open a little bit more there. The reason I'm out here is, as I mentioned in the Wormhole Van Life video, I thought we'd pop out and basically do some episodes on how to establish yourself out in low-sec with some quite cheap ships and see what we can do. But I think the real best change is that it's going to really reward the players that put some work in, the players that do the PvP as well. PvP can be a little bit of a thankless task in some ways. I know that might sound odd to say. You don't make a lot of money out of general PvP, but you're low-sec and it has to be done. Can't let the people come in and get that loot without the risk of us. But now it's actually, there's a reason that as maybe a resident or someone who hangs out regularly in the system, you've got even more incentive now to go for some other players. Because doing so is going to make you richer, which is actually quite nice. That guy's passed through local, so I can relax. I'll keep the D-scan closed as there's no one here. Now what I have seen is that there's no change in the little on-screen bounty here, so I'm guessing that the multiplier is applied when you're paid out on the ticks. Nice little stash in there, 500,000, I'll take that. Now as for the Corax, we'll have a look at this in another episode, but it's very basic passive fit. It's got some thermal resistance there, it's got some EM resistance over here. My real task is to see if this can take down a clone soldier in a 0.2 with 250 DPS. We shall see. I'm back out on the belt, just getting some pretty pictures of my taking down this guy. Local still empty, that's good. 650,000 ISK bounty on this Commodore, plus the 35%. That's quite nice. That's nearly 1 million. I'll take that. See what he's got inside. So there's been a lot of changes to the game, hasn't there, in the last few months. A lot of them are leading with the same message, really, aren't they? Which is move around more. I think the people that are going to be most affected by this kind of a thing are those that are in quite a small low-sec pocket. I mean, Sailing Anne, where obviously I've spent a lot of time, recorded a lot of footage. 4 active players in there, and there's not much left for everybody. So it'll be interesting to see how those guys do. There's a lot of PvP goes on in there because they murder every new bro that comes in the system, no matter how many of them it takes. And so they should be able to keep that balance, but they'll have to work at that. Otherwise, it's just not going to be worth ratting. I'm looking forward to getting the bonuses, obviously, on the clones and the 0.2. It's not going to be a huge amount of money compared to the tag. That was a nice big bang. I like that. We've moved on a couple of systems now. We found a clone soldier, but we're 60k away, so I'm trying to find an asteroid close to him to bookmark, warp off and walk back to, so we can get in a bit closer on him. I am taking some damage, you can see, from 58k away, but I've got my bookmark. We're going to run and reapproach. I used exactly that same technique in a venture, which the guys took as just an idiot in a venture, to drop bookmarks on a moon mining fleet in Ceylin. And the core pilot we were actually doing that with, too, or however you want to put it, was the corplet is part of the Resident Alliance here. And there's a PvP corp, and one of them is now in local with me. I've landed back on my clone soldier at a much more reasonable 30k, so I would normally attempt the burn in here. But there is now a Gnosis on my D scan, so I'm expecting company. So we'll just get ready just in case. You never know, he may just pass us by, but I do doubt it. There you go, he's on grid with me, but we can warp off before he can get any opportunity to lock us up. A Gnosis is going to have a hard time getting on grid and tackling you in a destroyer. They can be rigged to lock up very fast. Of the battle cruisers, they're the fastest locking, but we're away to fight another day. We're going to just walk to an asteroid belt first of all, just see what's going on, see if he comes after us. We don't want to hang about on this belt because the Guardian rats here can actually sometimes get a point on you, so I don't really want to have to fight them off me just in case he gets on grid with me here. But he is back on my D scan, so he is following me around a little. You can see a little bit of low sec banter going on down there in local. There is a third person over here in local who's just gone suspect. Now, either he's using his Gamur to steal, or he's aggressed on the Gnosis. So this should be interesting. He's very brave if he has gone for a Gnosis. I'm not sure who the guy is. He's a member of Pen is out, the Alliance, but I don't know the guy. I've not seen his name before. So let's just see what's going on here. I'm going to sit here and just watch this fight via D-scan, see if we can figure out what's going on. It's nice not to be the centre of attention all the time. Oh, we're getting joined in local. There's some more ships coming in. Imperial Navy Slicer, Omen Navy Issue. Quite a selection. We've got a Kikimora. More Manifesto guys. So these are coming to fight or help the Gnosis with the Gamur. There's a Cormorant. Getting busy in here. So that's quite a response for one frigate aggressing a battle cruiser. But you know, it can be done. It depends on how that battle cruiser's fitted. If he's not fitted to fight frigates, a well flown frigate could take him down. I've seen it myself more than once. But they scare him off. I check the kill boards. There's very little going on here. But I am interested, so we're going to snoop around the kill board to see who this guy is. So we're going to have a look. I thought this was worth sharing with you. Now here is the man in local, Kurz, and he's quite a new character. He was rolled up in October, what's known as a reroll. So the player obviously knows exactly what he's doing. Look at all these kills. Look at these stats. Sorry, I went right past these. 124 ships destroyed, 7 lost, 14.7 billion ISK value killed, and nearly 700 million lost. That kill value is glitched out. One of the kills has got a 6.3 billion total on it, which is just completely wrong. But still very impressive, and 68% so low. Look at all of that, these little green tags. I like to see that. He's taking on bigger ships, and he's absolutely tearing them to pieces. Here you go. Here's a 840 million Praxis, which is reasonably well fit. He's in a Gamur. I'm going to guess that he's probably got a nice set of snake implants, and he's very quick. Certainly these big weapons wouldn't be able to get on the Gamur anyway. They'd have trouble tracking it, but even the drones. And yeah, there are certainly some exceptional kills amongst these. If we go back, he's only got 3 pages of kills. Down here, guy started off. He's killed, what should we say, a transit Synesis here with a buzzard. His first 3 or 4 kills were with a buzzard. It hasn't taken him long to be taking down a Gila. Over 300 mils worth. He's getting going in his Gamur right there. Again, heavy missile launchers going to have a hard time hitting a frigate, especially a very, very fast frigate. And even the drones. The Gila's only bonus for medium drones. But even so, light drones are going to have trouble catching up, keeping up, and applying damage to that Gamur. I'm guessing that's how he operates. So maybe those guys, because one of the kills is one of the miners in his retriever much earlier that day before I was in local. So maybe that was why there was such a reaction. You'd already kind of rattled their cage and stirred up the hornet's nest. But it's lovely, it's great, it's fantastic to see a guy out there just going through his solo kills in his ship. So yeah, respect to you, Mr. Kurz. So this is a few days later, 6 to be exact, and I found a clone soldier out on the belt by himself at a reasonable distance. So we're going to burn in. I've got local to myself, so we can just focus on the rat, which is always good. Now, I've not tried Corax versus clone soldier transporter before, so this is a little bit of an experiment. I've gone with a passive tank. I don't think I'll be able to run an active tank because I think we're going to need to get the speed up with the micro warp drive. So I'm going to set a 5k orbit, see how we get on with that. Definitely need Tech 2 rockets before you even attempt to engage one of these guys. You can get away with Tech 1 rockets in the 0.4, 0.3s, but not here. I'm going to click up in space here just to turn the Corax in a little bit. I'm going to set a narrow orbit, but this prevents the AI from kind of just yanking it around at a stupid degree and losing all your speed. So I've done it kind of as a two-step. We're still taking a fair bit of damage. I think we are going to need to run the micro warp drive and speed ourselves up, and this is why I don't think an active tank would work at all in this situation. We wouldn't be able to have enough capacitor to run both. We're going to overheat those rocket launchers now. Get this thing killed before it can kill us. I think the way that our damage is coming in, we're still taking a little bit, although he's missing now. We are going to win this fight for sure, so I'm going to stick with it. The lesson we've learnt here is we need to get in closer, maybe even closer than this, and keep that micro warp drive burning. The micro warp drive running does make us a little bit easier to hit in the sense that it does bloom our signature radius, but we need the speed for sure. I think that's been demonstrated here. So we're getting there, we're just getting very hot on those rocket launchers with the alpha skills, and we've made it. We've got the rat dead. We're going to get in there and get the loot. 95% burnt out on my rockets, and they weren't overheated the whole time. I think if we managed that incoming damage by running the approach better, then we wouldn't need to overheat. We certainly seem to be okay at breaking his tank. It was just a question of at the end of we had to kill him before he killed us. So work to do, but we know it can be done. The Corax, guys, if you want to see more Corax, then do let me know. I'd be happy to show you more. With missile launchers, it's very good in some of the other PvE situations, running some sites, running the Abyss. And as a little pack, they can be quite nasty in PvP. They're bonused for kinetic damage, so they're going to be most effective on the Serpentis rats we've got around here, Goristus, and less effective on some of the other rats. And in some situations, there's also times when an active tank is more appropriate or more effective than a passive tank. Anyway, we took a bit of a beating there, so I'm just going to chill out here at our safe spot while we get a bit of shield recharged. We obviously do not want to be getting into any aggressive situations before we get the loot dropped off and the rocket launchers repaired. Not to mention the armor, eh? So we've had a little break, we've got some shield, we're heading back. Because as a wise man once said, loot doesn't really exist until you've got it somewhere you can sell it. But of note here is that we've got the bounty bonus in this system at 144%, and also there's a Tengu in local, so we're not going to loiter. We're flying straight through back to our little drop-off point. So yeah, my intention is to go off and find somewhere new to kind of have a little bit of a mingle around. It's quite fun around here. In fact, we're going to have a look at just how the bounty bonus has been put up to 144% in 6 days. So we take a quick look at the kill board here for Alipe. Since the 9th, which is when the dynamic bounties came in, there's been one notable situation, and that is this fight right here. Not that the Tengu up there is 400 million nearly in itself, but this fight here, and if we click on one of the kills and we click on related, it will basically give us a kind of a battle report. And as you can see, 1 billion ISKs worth of ships have been lost right there in that fight. There's nothing else standing out. So the locals, Manifesto, have got into a fight with these two guys over here. And they've lost their 2 ships. They've lost 4 ships. I'm not sure how these points are calculated. How are their 2 ships worth 43 points and that value? And these ships are worth 2 points and they're worth 4 times as much. I don't know. Maybe someone will know. Let me know in a comment. But that seems to be the way to get a nice big boost on the system dynamic bonus, is have a 1 billion ISK battle. The rest of the kills, as I say, they're just steady. There's nothing exceptional there. So that's how it seems to be going so far. I shall keep you posted as and when I see any real developments. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Quick look at how that dynamic bounty system is working and how it can be affected. We'll have to find some really over-ratted systems and see how low it can go. Let me know if you've seen it go much below 135%, and let me know how low you've seen it go. That would be quite interesting to know. Anyway, guys, here in Goynard, which is like the entry from high-sec system into this kind of area, this pocket, we're up to 139% on the bounty bonus. There's always a bit of fighting going on in here, as there always is in the entry system, especially around that gate. Leave us a like if you've liked it. Leave us any comments, any feedback. Do you want to see a bit more Corax action? Let me know. Subscribe if you want to stay in touch. We will be back very soon with an update from the wormhole and a look at me updated PI, and then of course more and more and more low sec. So take care for now. Take care of each other. Fly brave and goodbye.